Hello and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. I'm going to cheat today. I'm going to do this once I did the car. It's raining, it's cold, it's January, it's grey. So anyway, I'm trying to brighten you up and at the same time not catch my death. So we will do our best. We can do no more, can we? So I'm going to take you for a drive. I'm going to take you for a magical mystery tour, and I thought we'd do the introduction before I set off because I've got myself in a little corner here. Hopefully I'll be able to get this done without getting shouted at or told to move. So this is all about Squires Gate Lane, and I found some interesting things out about Squires Gate Lane, so I'm going to share them with you when we go on our little drive. So I thought we'd just start here. I bet you've got no idea where we are. I'm going to show you in a second. And we'll take you all the way down Squires Gate Lane to the motorway. Make sure that you've subscribed before we set off. Make sure that you've got all of your notifications enabled. And don't forget to sign up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter, which you can get at visitfyldecoast.info/newsletter. Right, are you ready to find out where we are? Are you ready? In just a second. And when you look at the weather, you can see why I'm sat in the car with the windscreen wipers going. So that is the Irish Sea, beautiful as it is, but not today, thank you, Josephine. So we're at Squires Gate. We're at the side of the tram depot. So this, to the right-hand side here, is the boat club. I'm not quite sure which one it is. Not sure what that's called, but this is Stargate Slipway. So if you're of a mind to sail a boat or jet ski or whatnot, this is where you come to get access to the beach. So I've just bobbed down here so that I could get near enough to be able to show you the view. So if you can just see behind that slipway notice, that is the end of Blackpool's sea wall, which was done and opened in the early 2000s. So that's the full New South Promenade, which is a lovely walk past the Solaris Centre, etc. And you can see now why I'm waiting in here, because he's chucking it down. So this one, we're going to go from the tram sheds to the crossroads of the traffic lights at Common Edge Road, which is the end of Squires Gate Lane, and it continues from there as Progress Way to the roundabout at the M55. So we'll go all the way to the motorway. So we start with the welcome arch when we get out onto the road, and we end up at the roundabout where all the car garages are. So this marks the southern boundary of Blackpool, and it dates back to the 1600s. And Squires Gate Lane was originally a ditch between Lytham and Leighton. But the name Squires Gate comes from a gate which was built in the early 1800s, and it divided the land owned by Squire Clifton in Lytham and St Anne's from the invading hordes. Did you hear the inverted commas? The invading hordes of Blackpool. So that's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to go and have a look. Right, I'm going to just turn this off while I turn round. So we're going that way, and in a second when I start driving, we're going to cross over onto the GoPro camera. This is the DJI at the moment. So this is the tram depot, look. And that's the GoPro. And this is the welcome arch that you can just see over there in the distance. That's the one that's been there since the 1930s. And this just to your left is the tram shelter building. So the beach down here at Squires Gate is where originally there were Pierrot shows, and the South Shore Minstrels, they later moved to Harrowside, which is where the Solaris Centre is. So there's Gypsy Daisy Boswell, Jack Pye's ice cream stall, and Old Dan's hobby horses were here too. So it was a bit of a centre for entertainment going back to 1894. And then obviously Blackpool started to grow. It all started to develop near the pleasure beach, and this became a quieter area. But in 1926, Blackpool Tramway extended to Stargate along Clifton Drive. So just left here where the traffic lights are is the promenade. And if you turn right here at the traffic lights, that's Clifton Drive going down to St Anne's. So the Blackpool tramway extended down there in 1926 to join Blackpool and the Lytham tracks. And I think this tramway loop here, which this tram sat on, was built in 1938. He's wondering what I'm doing. Right, away we go. I'm going to swap cameras and we shall go on the other one. Right, away we go. So apparently it's known as, we've found out why it's called Squires Gate. It's known as Stargate because of the star grass that used to grow prolifically here in the dunes. So this is Squires Gate Lane that we're on now, which dates back to the year dot. And at one time it was called Little Martin Lane. So in the 1800s, the early 1800s, when the gate was there, it was known as Little Martin Lane. We're just crossing the Blackpool railway line, so this is Squires Gate railway station on your right hand side. And it's a busy road down here. So on your right hand side, just at the other side of Lidl, you've got the airport and all of the associated buildings that are connected to the airport. I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm intrigued now. Does anybody know what they're doing? It looks like it's something to do with electrics. So if you do know, pop a comment underneath. So on the right hand side, you've got the entrance into the airport. The airport building is round here. There's Blackpool College. Well, it's actually called Lancashire Energy HQ, but it's operated by Blackpool College, and that's on your right hand side. I didn't know they'd got all the road up. I wouldn't have come and done this today if I'd known. I thought it'll be quieter because it's midweek and it's raining, so you'll be able to see, tarmac. Oh, what a lovely smell. And then you've got all the old hangars down here that were used during the war in manufacture of the planes. And I'm just trying to remember which plane it was that they built. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Go on, tell me. Tell me the answer underneath. Oh, that's going to really annoy me. Northwest Air Ambulance on your right hand side as well. And then you get to Morrison's. Lancaster Bomber factories, weren't they? That's what they made here. You get to Morrison's, you've got the petrol station and whatnot, and then drum roll and fanfare, my favourite store, TK Maxx, on your right hand side. So at the back of the trees here, there is a retail park. So there's a Dunelm, there's Costa, Curry's. Is it Curry's? Yeah, Curry's. Pesatome, there's an Aldi, there's a TK Maxx, there's quite a few different stores. So these are the Lancaster Bomber sheds on the right hand side, which were used during the war to manufacture planes, and they're now occupied by various different distribution companies. So this is still Squires Gate Lane. Always be careful when you're driving around in Blackpool, because yes, there are loads of speed cameras, which is why I'm not clogging at 900 miles an hour, despite the gentleman hanging on to my back bumper. Do you remember the hovercraft that used to go to Southport from Squires Gate? It was in 1973, and it just ran for one season from the 23rd of May to the 28th of September. And the return journey was £1, took quarter of an hour. This is the junction with Common Edge Road that we're just going through now, and this is where Squires Gate Lane turns into Progress Way. So this opened in 1993, and this is the last little bit of link road which takes you up to the M55. So we're nearly at our destination actually, and this is cutting through Martin Moss. So this is all low-lying land that would traditionally, back in the day, have been sort of quite boggy, farmland stroke marshland. But it cuts a big corner off. Lots of new houses being built all over. And if you just follow this road, it takes you up to the M55 in the junction with Eden Way. I don't think I've picked a very good day to do this, have I? I thought I'll do it today while it's raining. And then it's a driving video and we can do that. We don't need sunshine. It's not a particularly scenic route, it's just a useful one. If you're coming into Blackpool and you're heading towards the pleasure beach, it's much quicker to come this way and to cut down the side of Squires Gate Lane than it is to come through Eden Way and go into the centre of Blackpool and double back on yourself. So sort of straight in front of you, slightly to the right, is Whitehills Industrial Park. And when we get to this next roundabout, I'll show you where you turn off. So the left is to the motorway, and if you turn right here, it takes you to Whitehills Industrial Estate. There's a straight on here as well, which takes you into another retail unit, another little industrial estate. And this is the junction to the motorway. So you see how near you are. So if you come into the pleasure beach, it's definitely quicker to come that way. Turn right and you're heading down the M55. Turn left and you're off down Eden Way. So I'll double you back and then you'll see exactly where we are. I'll double you back down Eden Way. So this is the roundabout at Martin. Used to have a sculpture in the middle of it of a couple of people sliding down a spiral kind of helter-skelter thing. And unfortunately somebody came a cropper one night and drove straight into it. They went straight into the middle of the roundabout, drove straight up the quite steep slope, and took the sculpture out and it never got replaced. What a shame, because it were really nice. And you knew you'd arrived in Blackpool when you saw that. So this is Eden Way. This is the route that the old railway line would have taken at one time, coming into Blackpool Central. And this has been resurfaced recently. Was it last year they did it? Early last year? Seems a very long time ago now. So it's much smoother and flatter than it was. Although there is an odd little bit of road surface towards the end that sort of goes bump, 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 bump. Oh, and here we are. Bump, 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 bump. It's very odd, that bit. I've no idea why it bump, 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 bumps. Because it looks exactly like the rest of it. Very strange. And then you're just about getting towards the end of Eden Way. Just round this corner. Round this corner. Round this corner. Nice conveniently positioned petrol station for when you're all out of gas. And that's your big central car park straight in front of you. So I do hope you've enjoyed that little ride around Blackpool. And don't forget to make sure that you've given the video a like. Don't forget to make sure you've signed up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter. And until next time, we will see you later. Bye for now.